On August 24th, 2017, I had the pleasure of sharing my motivational magic show, Teamwork Magic, at the beautiful Colonial Tavern in Oxford, Connecticut. The group I was presenting to was Easterseals of Connecticut. It was an amazing group of people, and we had an amazing time. Take a look.
What do you see when you see a goose? Now, before you say anything out loud, just think about what your answer might be at this point. It's my hope that by the end of our time here together, I will have guided you to the answer that I'm looking for, but who knows, maybe you'll guide me to your own answer. My job as a teacher, as a speaker, as a trainer, is to help demonstrate how we can achieve our personal goals. As a magician, my goal is to help demonstrate how what is perhaps not likely to be possible can become possible. I'm going to show you a quick example using a handkerchief. Everyone go. People are fun. With a knot tied in the handkerchief, is it possible to get the knot out of the handkerchief without being untied? Well, yes, it is possible. At first sight, it's perhaps not likely, but it is possible. I was doing this for a group recently, and someone said, well, if you can't untie it, just take a pair of scissors. That's one way of looking at this problem. Another person had suggested that if the rule is that I can't untie the knot, just have someone else do it for me. Karen's going to help us out with everything. Thank you, Karen. Karen's the helper. Thank you, Karen. But here's the idea. Because I'm a magician, this is what I would do. I would take my magic wand and magic. I like making up words. Watch close. Without untying the knot, I can pull the knot directly off the handkerchief. Isn't that fun, Karen? Oh, thank you. Of course, this helps if you're a magician. It does help if you know how to do some magic tricks. But that's not all that I want to show you inside of this briefcase. Inside of this briefcase, I have something else. I'm not sure. I think it'll fit here. Now, at first sight, it's not possible for an 8-foot ladder to fit inside of a briefcase. But if you're a magician, anything is possible. Inside this box is the secret to all the magic in the world. Everyone go, folks are fun. With what's inside this box, you'll be able to stay focused, stay energized, to work together to make the coming year the best year yet. Everyone go, yay! Yay! Now you notice carefully that there's a combination lock keeping this box closed, because we can't open it just yet. There's a few things we need to discuss before we can understand what's inside of this box. What's your name? Alicia. Alicia, where are you from? Meriden. You came all the way from Meriden just to see me. Thank you. It's very kind, very kind. Alicia, you are going to guard this box. Make sure no one gets in. Make sure no one gets out. Can I trust you?
I think so.
She thinks so. Doesn't sound very confident. I'm going to trust you for now. Alicia, make sure no one gets into the box. Make sure no one gets out of the box. It would actually be kind of weird if someone was inside the box. To understand what's inside, we have to do a little card trick. Alicia, do you play cards at all?
Sometimes. So.
She's a social card player. I don't know what that means. Okay. Alicia, if I were to have Alicia just think of any playing card, deck of cards about 90% of the time, people always say the same card. They always say either the Queen of Hearts or they say the Ace of Spades. Those are the two popular cards in a deck of cards. In fact, if I were to poll an audience, I'd say most of you would say you were thinking of one of those two cards. Alicia, were you thinking of either the Ace of Spades or the Queen of Hearts?
No.
No, because you are not an emotional being, right? Alicia's a rational person. She's not going to choose the cards that everyone picks. She's going to pick her own random card. Please point to the back of any card you like, Alicia. Any card you like. Yep. Are you, was it that one? Are you happy with this choice? You may take your card. Do not show me, but show everyone else your card. By the way, also be sure that you look at it. I was doing this recently and they didn't look at their own card. Made a very uninteresting card trick. So at least you, Alicia, and at least the people around you can see your card. I'm going to come back to you now, Alicia. You may place your card back inside the deck. Now remember this moment. Alicia had a free choice. She could have touched the back of any card she wanted. I don't even need the cards, ladies and gentlemen, because I think I already know what card Alicia picked. Ooh. What'd you say? It was who? She's like, I didn't say it. Oh, it was you that said it. Yes, what's your name? Lori. Lori says that she thinks the card is inside the box. Well, this is close. This is close. It's not inside the box. It's outside the box, underneath. Underneath the box, you will find an envelope. I stuck this envelope underneath the box before I even knew your name, Alicia. Would you be amazed? Would you be astounded if the card inside this envelope was your card, Alicia? Would you be amazed? She's like, yeah, sure. I've seen magic tricks before. They usually work. Alicia, I'm going to show you the card. Yes or no? Take a good look at the card. You can hold on to it. In a loud, clear voice so everyone can hear, yes or no, is your card on that card? Give Alicia a nice big hand. Now she's laughing hysterically. A lot of people respond to magic by laughing. In Alicia's case, I think she's laughing for a different reason. I'm going to show everyone why Alicia's laughing. You see, every card is printed on this card. So your card is on this card. There's more than one way to have a successful outcome. What was your card?
2.
I'm glad you showed it around to other people. The 2 of Hearts, and look at that, the 2 of Hearts on that card. Give her one more big hand. Please guard the box. There is something inside the box that I want to show you, so you're going to keep guarding the box. Now, I'd like to open with that card demonstration because this highlights a very important step in something called a secure pathway. SECURE is a 6-step acronym that helps us achieve whatever we're trying to do, right? So the 6 steps are, for the S, number 1, it's state all of your positions. What is your present position? What's your desired future position? And then what are the in-between positions that you need to take? Number 2, for E, is examine all of your habits. It said that everything that we do or don't do every day will lead to our success or our failure. So the question becomes, are we examining all of our daily habits? Number 3 is consider all the possibilities. And this is the one that we're going to be talking about extensively today. Consider all your possibilities. There's more than one way to have a successful outcome. Number 4 is for the U. Utilize all of your resources. What do you have at your disposal? Number 5, for the R, remove all the non-essentials. And lastly, for number 6, is embrace all of your challenges. The famous King Solomon once said that sensible people look ahead for problems and they try to address those problems. So the question becomes, are we embracing all of our challenges, even if it's as silly as keeping a marshmallow up high? Embrace all your challenges. So those are the 6 steps to a secure pathway. As I said, we're going to be laser focusing in on just one of those. Consider all of the possibilities, because there's more than one way to have a successful outcome. There's a famous general, General Patton. He once said that successful generals create plans to fit the circumstances. However, they don't try to manufacture circumstances to fit those plans. Now, the idea being, so often in life we have a vision, we have an idea, we have something that we want to do. So what we do is we lay down our plan, we get our plans, and we want to achieve whatever this is so much that we stick to that plan so rigidly that even as circumstances change, we don't change. Now, there's a problem here. It's called wind. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, President Lorraine. President Lorraine, ladies and gentlemen, my lovely assistant. We might be sawing her in half a little later on. She's a little nervous because we haven't done it since the accident. Thank you for volunteering. What was I saying? Oh, Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill says that one of the primary reasons that people fail is by failing to change as our circumstances change. And haven't we all experienced this in some way? I know that this is true. I've experienced this not just in my professional life as a magician and as a speaker, but certainly in my personal life. I'd say actually especially in my personal life, usually in regards to relationships of some kind. Always gets me in trouble. But the idea is to, as our circumstances change, we too need to change, because there's more than one way to have a successful outcome. So we're going to look at all the possibilities. How many possibilities do we see up here? How many squares do we see on this board?
16. 16 squares.
Oh, I'm getting lots of different answers, from 16 to 64, and everything in between. 22, 50, how many? 27, 18, 91? You know, I saw, what's it, 2 apart, she says. I don't know about your perspective, Jason, but I like it. I saw this on a game show recently, and on the game show there was a much bigger board, much more squares. There was somewhere in the number of like thousands of squares. This is a boiled down version. You see, when we just look at this at first sight, we do see probably at least 16 squares. But when you look at it a little closer, you see that you can take multiple squares and put them together to make squares. So you can take these 4 together to make a square, put those 4 together to make a square. You can do that 9 different times on this board. So 16, all of a sudden we add 9, we have 25 squares.
Oh, I have 23.
32. Oh yeah, because we also see we can take 3 by 3 squares, put those together to make a square. We can do that 4 times on the board. Of course, we can also take all the squares together, making one big giant square. So at first sight, we might only see a handful of squares, but the closer we look at it, the more possibilities that we consider. We see that there's more than one way to make a square. Let's take this a step further. Who among you has mathematical abilities? I see one hand go up and then immediately go down. What's your name? Jeannie. Jeannie, this is going to be very easy math. This is easy math. You're going to think of any number between 1 and 9. What number would you like to use? 7. I'm going to put the number 7 on the board. And Jeannie, choose anyone else here. Someone you don't know. Choose someone other than yourself that you don't know. And who is this? Dorothy. Dorothy. Good to see you. Yeah, that's great.
Three people.
Look at that. That's one of the 3. She's paying attention. Dorothy. Same thing. Any number other than 7 between 1 and 9. 3. Do you want the 3 to the left or to the right of the 7? To the left. All right. Here's what's going to happen now. We have arrived at a random 2-digit number that no one knew we were going to think. I didn't even know we were going to think of this number, right? Here's what's going to happen. I'm terrible at math. Personally, I'm horrible. But I have been practicing a certain kind of math, a certain equation that in my head as I'm talking, I'm trying to run these numbers through that equation now, and I think I've got it. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to fill in all of these squares using this equation, and we're going to time and see how long it takes me to fill out all of these squares. Do we have anyone here that has a watch with a second hand, or maybe an iPhone with an app? Oh, Christy has an app. Thank you very much. Or an application, as they say. As soon as you say go, I'm going to start filling in the board. When you're ready, please let me know. The other day, I don't know if you'll be able to read my writing, but I think I did it. How far did we go? How much time? 22. Last time I did it in like 25 point something seconds, so I beat my own record. Thank you very much. I know this means nothing to you right now, but here's the idea. I read an article recently that scientists, and this is completely true, scientists have now figured out why the blood-sucking bugs of Africa do not suck the blood of the zebra. This sounds absurd, but it's true. Scientists actually did research on this to try and figure out why the zebras were okay. And they have concluded that it's because of, what do you think? Their stripes, that's right. It's because of the stripes. The stripes, there's something to do with the pattern. There's something to do with the ultraviolet light, whatever that bounces off of the patterns. I don't even know. I don't know the science behind it. But scientists say that the bugs get confused. They're looking for, but they're not seeing the possibility of something scrumptious to eat. I think the same thing is going on here. You see, I've placed a zebra multiple times on this board. Now, the zebra is not a literal zebra. The zebra is the number 37. How many times do we see the number 37 on this board other than the big 37 at the top of the board? And some people say they see it a lot. What's your name is? Debbie. All right, Debbie, where do you see the number 37? Oh, okay, so if you add, okay, so if we take 8 plus 11 and 17 and 1, in those 4 squares, you get the number 37. You can do that for the 2 and the 16 and the 12 and the 7. You can do that for the 9 and the 6, the 3, that's a 3. And a 19. So you put 4 squares together to create a square, you get the number 37. But it's not just in the squares, it's in the rows as well. 8 and 11 and 2 and 16, that's 37. 1 and 17 and 7 and 12, that is 37. 18, 4, 9, 6 is 37. 10, 5, 19, and 3. Thank you very much. But not just the rows, the columns as well. 16 and 12 and 6 and 3, that's 37. 2 and 7, 9 and 19 is 37. 11, 17, 4 and 5. And lastly, 8, 1, 18, and 10. Unbelievable, considering I'm terrible at math. But it's not just the rows and the columns, the diagonals as well. When you add those together, get out your iPhone calculator app or Android calculator app. You can do the math if you'd like. And just when we think we've exhausted every different possibility, we realize
The corners.
that we haven't. Oh yes, who said it? The four corners.
Corners.
You take the quarters. 8, 10, plus 3, plus 16 is? Thank you very much. All we have to do is consider all of our possibilities. Now, if we're looking for, but not seeing all of our possibilities, all we have to do is take a step back and look at things from another perspective. Consider this. We are all coming from different places. And yet we're all gathered under this one tent together. And yet even though we're all gathered in the same place for the same purpose, we're all experiencing something different. And we can't help it. It's because of all the different perspectives from which we are interpreting all of the events around us. If any one of us wanted to change our experience, we could, of course, leave the room or leave the tent. I think Lorraine might get mad. But that's not always possible. Sometimes we get into situations where we can't leave our situation. So in cases where we can't leave our situation, we can still change our experience by changing our perspective. I'm reminded of the story of a company founded in 1889. And it was a Japanese company that manufactured playing cards. And they had a lot of success for decades in Japan. But at one point, the president of the company was like, you know what, we should think about expanding, growing the company to service globally. So the president of this company went to the leadership team of the largest manufacturer of playing cards in the world, the US playing card company. And this meeting proved eye-opening for this president of the Japanese company because he noticed that the largest manufacturer of playing cards in the world operates out of a teeny, tiny office. Now, seeing this, he realized that the kind of growth that he wanted for his company was not possible under their original plan of manufacturing playing cards. So they decided to seek other possibilities, which proved life-saving. Because within 10 years from that meeting was in 1956, and within less than 10 years, the sale of playing cards plummeted, and it, of course, with it the stock in all the playing cards company. But by this time, this Japanese company, had begun manufacturing a new type of toy, beginning to be successful in competing in the emerging electronic gaming industry. And over the ensuing decades, it snowballed into what we now know today as the multi-billion-dollar video game company, Nintendo. I get chills just thinking about this story. The Nintendo Playing Card Company, that's what they were called in 1889 when they were founded, the Nintendo Playing Card Company. If they had not changed as their circumstances changed, there's no way that they could have experienced the explosive kind of growth that they had. But they recognized there's more than one way to have a successful outcome, and they persistently pursued those options until they succeeded. So again, what possibilities are we looking for, like the bugs of Africa, but we're missing the zebras right in front of us? Now, I have some drawings I want to show you folks. Let's see. I have 2 drawings. Venture out into the crowd. Oh, we have someone waving her hand. She's like, oh, pick me, pick me. What's your name? Yuritsa. Give Yuritsa a nice big hand. Yuritsa, we've never met before, right?
No.
No, we haven't?
Yeah, right now.
I'm confused. That's okay. Most people do. Here's what's going to happen, Yuritsa. I have 2 pictures I'm going to show you. I'm going to give one picture. I'm going to put it in your right hand. I'm going to put another picture into your left hand. Now the picture I'm putting in your right hand, oh, here it is. It's a picture of a rabbit. It's going to be adorable. It has cute little bunny ears. It has a cute little bunny tail. Take a look, take a look. Isn't that a cute, is that an adorable bunny? Yes, okay, you're going to put that face down in your hand. I have another picture. Oh, here it is. This is a picture of a duck. This duck is adorable. It has a cute little duck bill. Has a cute little, see the little duck bill right there? A cute little duck tail. Isn't that adorable? You see the duck bill right here? Yeah. So we have a rabbit in your right hand, correct?
Yes.
And we have a duck in your left hand, correct?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Yuritsa is going to perform a magic trick for us. She is going to make those drawings change places without physically moving them. So you have a rabbit in the right hand, duck in the left hand. All we have to do is wave the magic wand and say the magic words. Bippity, boppity, Yuritsa. And as if by magic, Yuritsa, you had a rabbit in your right hand. When you look at that rabbit now, you are going to see a duck. You may look at the drawing in your right hand. Is that a drawing of a duck? Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, a miracle! In your left hand, you had a picture of a duck, but now you will have a picture of a rabbit. Yes or no? Is the rabbit in your left hand? Let's hear it for Yuritsa! Yuritsa, thank you so much. You can keep those as a souvenir. One more big hand! For those of you who are in the way back and perhaps didn't see, the two drawings that I gave her were the same thing. Depending on how you look at this drawing, you could see a duck with a big duck bill, or you could see a rabbit with cute little rabbit ears. Isn't this fun? So it's all about your perspective. It's your prior conditioning, the way you were brought up. It's what you were told just before you were going to look at it. All of this gives you your perspective of how you interpret and approach the world around you. Or, okay, say that again.
See a cat.
What if you see a cat? Now, I've done this demonstration lots of times. I've gotten, other than duck and rabbit, I've heard, okay, someone said duck bit. They saw a duck bit, they're inventing words. Someone said they saw a penguin, which I could see a penguin, but a cat. You are different. What's your name? Donna has a very interesting perspective on this. You're a cat person, I take it. Oh, okay. She's been paying attention. She's seeing all the possibilities. Exactly. So here's the idea. With all of these different perspectives that we're all approaching even just this one moment with, this can make communication kind of difficult, right? It can make communicating with others problematic. In fact, it was once said by the playwright George Bernard Shaw. He said one of the biggest problems with communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And haven't we all experienced this in some way in our own lives? When we communicate something, we fully believe that we communicated something. But the person we're talking to, by their words and their actions, clearly we did not communicate effectively, right? Now, I've experienced this in my own life. Again, usually in regards to relationships. Maybe that's why I'm not married anymore. Maybe that's why. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. What's that, sir? Your name? Umberto says I'm a good name. Thank you. Thank you. I remember the illusion of communication. I appreciate all of the support. Thank you. The illusion of communication happens when what is communicated is interpreted differently than actually intended. I'm reminded there's a story of an elderly couple. They were off for a romantic evening walk, and the husband turned to his wife and said, "You know, honey, under the stars and under the moonlight, your teeth look just like pearls." It's a beautiful sentence, right? Into that, the wife turned to her husband and said, "Who the heck is Pearl? And what were you doing with her under the moonlight?" Communication can be difficult when you're not on the same page, but it's especially difficult when we're not even working from the same book. I have a question for you folks. Have any of you ever read this book? It's called Absurd Jokes. Anyone read it? Most of you haven't. Actually, most people haven't. I know it. It's one of my latest books. Most people haven't discovered this absurd book yet. What this book really is, it's a collection of all of my favorite jokes that I've heard since I was a little kid. I kept forgetting jokes, so I put them all in one place so I don't forget. And let's see, we're going to have Donna help us out with this, since she has such a wide perspective. Donna, do you have a good sense of humor?
Yes.
That's the answer I'm looking for. Now this book has some rather absurd jokes. I'm going to read a couple to you. Let's see. Why did the cookie cry? What do you think, Don?
He got eaten.
Because he got eaten.
He felt crummy.
Because he felt crummy. You see, these are jokes that are going to go into the next edition. Edition 2 coming out next month. My answer was because his mother was a wafer so long. A wafer. These are absurd jokes, Donna. Oh, she loves it. Good, good. Many people don't. I won't read anymore. Donna, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to flip through the pages of the book. As I flip through the pages of the book, you will go to... Oh, okay, good. You're going to stop right there. Are you happy with this page? No, she's not happy. I'm not going to stop until you're happy, Donna. You want to go further or you want to go back some? You want to go further? Okay, you just say stop when you're ready. You're happy here? No, she says. Take your time. I'm paid by the hour. Okay, she's happy here. Bookmark goes in. You are not going to read a joke to everyone because they are absurd, but what you will do, you're going to look at the very first word of the page. Now, it's technically not the first word of the page because every page starts off with absurd jokes. So every page says absurd right at the top. Don't look at the word absurd. Look at the first word of the text of the joke. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show anyone else, so you're going to keep this a secret to yourself for now. Please take a look. See the word? Don't say it out loud. If I ask you later, will you be able to tell us what it is? All right, you can hang on to the book. Ladies and gentlemen, as unbelievable as this may sound, I think I already know what word Donna is thinking of. Because I had placed a piece of paper inside of my pocket. And I believe the piece of paper inside of my pocket has the word that Donna is just randomly chose. Actually, very deliberately chose. Not even random, very deliberately choice. Inside my pocket. Donna, as soon as you say the word, I'm going to give you the microphone. As soon as you say the word, I'm going to take the piece of paper out of my pocket, open it up, and show everyone what it says. What is your word? Thought. Thought. On this piece of paper, inside the dictionary, we have, let's see, thought. Oh, I think I see it. Yep, there it is, right below though. Is that your word, yes or no? Well, yes, the actual font itself is a little different, but the letters, the word itself, is that the word thought?
Yes.
Yes! Give her a nice big hand. Isn't this absurd? Very much. Thank you. This, of course, is just the joke portion of this demonstration because I have, remember I said I had a riddle for you folks? I had a riddle and I had a secret. Karen's been holding the secret this whole time with her arms folded over it. Karen, has anyone opened the secret since I gave it to you? No one. No one has opened it. Please open the envelope now. You may open it up. Inside the envelope, you are going to find a note card. Now, on one side of the note card, there are musical notes because it is a note card. You may take it out, please. And on the other side of the note card, on the side that does not have the musical notes, you are going to find a word written down before the presentation even started. She's been holding this the whole time. Yes or no? Karen, is that Donna's word? Yes or no? What was Donna's word? What is it?
Thought.
Thought. Yes or no? Karen, is the word on that note card Donna's word? Yes?
No.
No! Oh, let me see that for a moment. Oh, well, I did say to Karen not to give it to me. That's true. All right, so you can, in a loud voice, please tell everyone what. She is such the guardian. What does this note card say?
P29, no, P289, LC, E7.
Well, bingo! What I forgot to mention, I probably forgot to mention this, is that I wrote this word in code. Oh, thank you, Karen. I don't think Karen believes me. I can prove. It's not in your pocketbook. I can prove by telling you how to read this code. You see, the word that I wrote down in code is Donna's word. It's the same word, we're just reading it differently, right? We have to know how to read the code. Let's see, it was P, what was it, 289? You see, the P, she's still guarding the card. The P stands for page. Page 289. You see, this dictionary that is still opened up to Donna's word, is that opened up to page 289, yes?
Yes.
Ooh. Was that an RC or an LC that was that?
UC.
UC! Where did you find her? Oh, I believe it was LC. Is your word... Oh, is your word in the left-hand column, yes?
Yes.
On page 289, LC, left column, the last one was E, which stands for entry. Was it entry 9? Entry number 9. Count down. What was it?
7.
7? She's still guarding the card. Was that 7 or was it 9? Oh, it was 7, Karen's. Karen's making my life difficult, but let's give Karen a nice big hand. Page 289, left column, entry number 7. Let's give Donna a nice big hand. And Donna, you may keep the book as a souvenir. Thank you so much. Available on Amazon, edition 2 coming out next month. Oh yeah, okay, you can keep the secret. You can keep the secret. Thank you so much. Souvenirs for everyone. The problem with communication is it's pretty apparent, right? The illusion that it's taken place. The word I wrote down was the word Donna was thinking of. We were talking about the same thing, but the problem is we weren't on the same page. We weren't calibrated. There's a common saying that says, I'm only responsible for what I say, but not for what you understand. Now this, of course, it's just an excuse, right? And not a valid reason to allow miscommunication, to allow the communication gap to get larger and larger. Because when this happens, it's almost like even amongst a team, it's as if team members are working in isolation, almost like they're siloed, when what should be doing is working together towards a common vision. Responsible leaders, responsible team members. We all understand that it's each and every one of our responsibilities to ensure that we are all on the same page, to ensure calibration has taken place. Now, yes, there is more than one way to have a successful outcome, right? But if everyone on a team is doing their own thing, if everyone on the team has their own way of doing things, then success will always be out of our reach. Because truly working together requires going together. And if we follow through with this maxim, and we follow through with it every day, the results can truly be magical. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but your president is a magician. It's true, she has magic, psychotic powers. Not psychotic, what's that? Psychic! She has magic, psychic powers. So as she comes to the front of the room, please give her a nice big hand. Here's what's going to happen. You want to introduce this?
Okay, like any magician, you need a competent assistant. So Christy is going to be my competent assistant today. Okay, so how many of you like magic? Isn't magic awesome? I have loved magic since I was little. And I'm just going to tell you this quick little story. One time, and I'm going to date myself, I actually saw Siegfried and Roy. Do you guys know who they are? So one up in Las Vegas, they make things like crazy disappear. I was sitting like right where Jacqueline is sitting. And they were here. And I'm not kidding you, they made an elephant disappear right in front of me. Now, I will not be doing that today. However, I am going to show you a little bit of a magical trick, so to speak. So I know you guys in the back, you might not have been able to see everything. So I need 3 individuals in the back to each bring me one object. Yeah, Chris, we'll meet you halfway. I just need something that I can put on this table. Okay, I want you to know that we didn't plan what these objects are. I don't know who just gave them to Christy. And they are objects that I have never seen. Right? Whoever gave her those objects, can you verify that for me? We didn't have any, okay. All right, so Christy's gonna put them on the table, my competent assistant. So what are they?
This is a water bottle.
Okay, we have a water bottle, a jacket, and some sunglasses. Okay, so now I need a volunteer from the back of the audience. Kendall, is that you? Come on, come on. Okay, and I am going to read Kendall's mind, okay? Now, Kendall, you and I have not talked about this. No, we haven't texted, we haven't sent messages. I really only met Kendall one other time. So. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to actually leave the space, and then Kendall is going to pick up one of the 3 objects, and then when I come back, I'm going to be able to tell you which one it is because I'm going to be reading her mind. We're going to be on the same communication page. Okay?
Jamie, you watch my back is turned. Okay.
Jamie's security.
Jamie's a cheater.
Okay. Lorraine's walking, just walking away. Everybody, you get tomorrow off. Woo! She's got it. Okay, so I just need you to pick an object. Don't say it out loud. Just pick it up and show everybody which one you're picking. We got 3. There we go. She picked that one. Okay? Raising it real high. That one, right? We all know which one, right? We're good? Lorraine, come on back. She's coming. Don't tell her I told you you can have tomorrow off. Maybe if you're nice.
Pressure's on.
Pressure's on.
If I get this wrong.
I don't know what my reputation will be like. So we have a water bottle, a sweater, and some sunglasses. And I think I'm picking up from you 5 of a water bottle.
Wonderful. Big hand for your resident magician. I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit on that, because as Lorraine said, it takes communication, it takes teamwork, it takes calibration, it takes utilizing resources at our disposal. All of these things enabled her to perform this magic trick. And a lot of it has to do with the very language that we use to describe things. It's said that in business, the most important language in the world for that business is the language of the customer. And the idea being, if the customer is speaking Chinese, we better not be speaking Swahili, right? Because I believe that this is true, and if it is true, then the most important language in an organization is the language of the team. It's the language that we all agree on. So the question becomes, is everyone within your organization, is everyone on your team speaking the same language? And as a follow-up question, does everyone really know what that language is? Or is it just a few people using that language, right? What is the language of your team? Now, in my experience, that if we're not all on that same page, if our answer is no, not everyone is speaking that same language, it can leave people in the dark. I had an experience, it was about a year ago, that highlighted this idea for me personally, and I hope it does for you as well. I was visiting the island of Kauai. It's one of the Hawaiian islands. I had never been before, so I really had no idea what to expect. But whatever I did expect, I couldn't see anyway, because when I arrived at the island, it was the middle of the night. I couldn't see anything. Now, the cabin that I was staying on was on the complete opposite side of the island, over an hour drive from the airport and up a mountain. Now, it's a good thing that I had a map with me, because even my GPS at one point had no idea where I was. It just said, connection lost, you're somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, good luck. Has this ever happened to you? Now, the map that I had was not of a lot of help. I mean, this map, it was hand-drawn by the proprietor of this cabin. So it was hand-drawn, it had these very vague landmarks, and considering I didn't even know where I was, I didn't know if the road I was on was the road that was on this map. It was horribly out of context. Despite all of this, I did eventually make it to that cabin after stopping and turning around a few times. So I was able to make it to the cabin and settle in for the night. Now, the next morning, when the sun came up, I left the cabin to explore the island. And I saw for the first time where I was. I was in paradise. And I had no idea until that moment. I was just steps away from one of the world's most scenic canyons, Waimea Canyon. It's known as the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. 3,000 feet deep, bright red volcanic rock, lush green trees, blue waterfalls extending in the distance. I had never, ever experienced anything quite like this. It was just was just so breathtaking. Now, I tell you this story because this experience for me highlighted a very important idea, and it's this. When I was going up the mountain the night before, I didn't know where it was, I didn't know where I was going, I didn't know what I was doing, I was left in the dark. It wasn't until daylight that I could finally see the vision and understand what was going on around me. Now, I believe that working together as a team is this same kind of idea. Because we leave other people in the dark when we don't share our ideas or our talents or our passions or our perspectives or our procedures, the way that we do things. Because doing that, it doesn't enable the rest of the team to see the vision, that the important work that they are doing on the team or within the organization. And just as important, likewise, we leave ourselves in the dark when we refuse to even consider the possibilities that others on the team are sharing with us. So what we have to do is to remember to consider all of our possibilities. Now, yes, we still have our little hand-drawn maps with outdated and perhaps vague landmarks, but what served us well yesterday cannot adequately address the circumstances of today, because as our circumstances change, what do we have to do? We have to change with it, that's right. And that kind of change can only happen together. Because working together truly involves going together. To show you what I mean, on every table there is a sheet of paper, and on one side there's a bunch of numbers, and on the other side there's also a bunch of numbers. Both sides are identical, so just choose whichever side you like to use. We will be using both sides by the end of this. And this is a challenge, two challenges really. We're going to challenge you against everyone else. So the first time you're going to be challenging you against everyone else. But the second challenge, it's going to be you against you. Does anyone have a sheet? Does anyone not have a sheet? All right, this is good. There should be enough pens for everyone as well. I'm going to give you folks, I'm going to put, let's see, I'm going to put 30 seconds on it. Let's see in just 30 seconds how many of these numbers we can go through. This is how we have to go through it. We have to find the first number, number 1, but don't start yet. You're going to look for number 1. You're going to circle it. Then you're going to look for number 2. Circle that. Number 3. Circle that. 4. And circle that. You're going to go in sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there's something like maybe 80 numbers or so. You're going to see how many numbers you can circle in order in 60 seconds. I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock. When I say go, you can start. When I say stop, pens down. Are you ready?
Yes.
I said, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. And go. And stop. Pens down, pens down. Let's see how we did. Did anyone get at least 30 numbers circled? Raise your hand if you circled at least 30. People looking at me like I'm crazy. That is a bit of a stretch. Okay, how about 20 numbers? Anyone circle? Oh, I see some hands up. 2 people, give them a big hand. Very nice. Keep your hands up again. Let's see, over in the back. How many did you get? 24, and you? In 20. Okay, so 24. That's the highest number we got. How many of you only circled like 5? Anyone circle? Oh, okay, some of us. How about 10? How about 15? Okay, most people 15. Next was 20. So it seems 15 is the average. We're going to do this again, but this time I'm going to tell you a procedure that makes this process so much easier. If you look at the at the paper, you'll see that you can divide the paper into 4 quadrants. The upper left-hand corner is quadrant number 1. The upper right is quadrant number 2. The lower right is quadrant number 3. Lower left, quadrant number 4. So it kind of goes like in a circle. You will find number 1 in the first quadrant. Number 2 you will find in the second quadrant. Number 3 and number 3. Number 4, number 4. It just goes circular, clockwise, in a clockwise manner. Now that you know where to find the numbers, this is going to make this procedure so much easier. So really you have 2 challenges now. We're going to do this again. I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock. We have to see if we can beat 24. Who picked 24 again? What's your name? Brad? All right, we're going to see if we can beat Brad's number, but at the very least, it said that, look in the mirror, that's your competition. You're going to see if you can beat your own record. So I'm putting 30 seconds on the clock. When I say go, we will start. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Yeah. All right, go. 3, 2, 1, and hands down. By a round of applause, who beat your first record? I get chills. I have chills. How many of you beat Brad's 24? How many? Oh my goodness. Oh, Brad, look at that. You have competition. Here's the idea. It's by, we all have our own ways of doing things, right? We have our own ways that we can't do things, but by sharing ideas, you can find an easier, more efficient way of doing things. Because remember, working together truly requires going together. And you all just went further than you did the first time, just on your own. The author, Chuck Swindoll, I just saw this quote the other day and I wanted to share it with you folks specifically. He said that no one is a whole chain. Each one is a link. But take away one link and the chain is broken. No one is a whole team. Each one is a player. But take away one player and the game is forfeited. So my questions for you folks, for your consideration, is what does it mean to foster a sense of team? What does it mean to foster a sense of teamwork? What does it mean to acknowledge individuality while appreciating differences? There's more than one way to have a successful outcome. What does doing our best look like? What are our priorities? What are our responsibilities? And lastly, number 6, what does it mean to take ownership and initiative? Now that we've discussed all of these things, I think maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're ready to answer the riddle. And the riddle, to remind you, what do you see when you see a goose? And Donna, if you say cat. What do you see when you see a goose? If you have an answer, don't say it out loud just yet, but raise your hand. Let's see, we have an answer over here. I'm going to come a little closer to you. Running around, getting my exercise. What's your name? What is your answer?
When I see a goose, I see a golden egg.
You know, I've been doing this riddle for a while. I've never heard that answer. I like that. A golden egg. So you see opportunity. Maybe for a nice goose dinner. Any other answers? What do we see when we see a goose? Let's go in the back. Won't have to go to Planet Fitness today. Let me see those hands again if you have an answer. Okay, right over here. And what's your name?
Maria.
Maria.
Peace.
Ooh. Say that again so everybody can hear.
Peace.
Yeah, that's the answer I'm looking for. When you see a goose, I don't know about you, but I have never seen a lone goose, unless it was dead. If it was dead, I've seen a lone goose. But when I see a goose, I see geese, right? They are never apart from their gaggle of family and gaggle of friends. If we have any form of survival as people, as an organization, as a team, it can only be done together, because truly working together requires going together. And now that we understand the answer to the riddle, we understand the secret that Karen guarded. Now that we understand these things, I think we're now ready to understand the secret to all the magic in the world. Who is the one guarding this box right over here? Please tell us, did anyone try to get into the box?
No.
Did you try to get into the box?
Yes.
Alicia! I trusted you! But you couldn't get it, correct?
Correct.
It does have a combination lock on the box. If you could actually join us up here, just give Alicia a nice big hand with the box. Bring the box up with Alicia. Alicia's going to turn the dials of the combination lock to 5. We turn it so you can see it. So it's 5, 2, and 1. She's going to turn the dials. She's going to unlatch the box, but she's not going to open it up just yet, because I want to remind you of what you're going to find inside of this magic box. Alicia, you're going to find not just the secret to all magic. You're going to find not just what can help you stay inspired and motivated to work together to have an amazing year, but you're also going to find the cause of all suffering inside this box. No, it's not going to pop up. I'm not cool. I'm a nice guy, right? However, you are also going to find the solution to this suffering. You're going to open up the box in a moment. You're not going to say anything just yet, but you're going to open it, look inside of what you see, and you're going to think about what you see. You may open the box now. Ooh, she says. Do you understand what you see? Yes or no? She does understand. Actually, a better question. Do you understand who you see? So if you look inside of what you see, who do you see? A reflection of herself. Because Alicia is the #1 secret to all the magic in the world. She is the cause of all suffering. But she is also the solution. You can take out the thing on top and show everyone what that is. What is it?
Mirror.
It's a mirror. Yes, give Alicia a nice boost. If we want something we have never had, we must be willing to do what we have never done. And in order to get that kind of motivation, only you can give it to you. Other people can inspire you. Days like today can inspire you, but only you can summon that motivation to try and do things to make the coming year the best year yet. Now this is easier said than done, but what I'm learning is the secret is to just start. Start with where you are. Start with just one thing, and start making positive changes. Now one of the reasons we fail to make positive changes is because we think it's going to be too hard, right? What I'm learning then is that it really isn't as hard as we like to think it is. Which is why I put one last thing inside the box. She's smiling. You can take out the other thing, the thing in the bottom. Take it out so everyone can see what it is. And what is it?
A lemon.
It's a lemon. The lemon, of course, represents what we'd rather not face. It's commonly said, when life gives us lemons, what do we do?
Make lemonade.
Make milk chocolate. Donna, I'm glad I gave you the absurd look. It's going to fuel your fire. I like it. All right, but the lemon represents whatever we'd rather not face. It's whatever is holding us back. It's whatever is difficult in our lives. If I may see the lemon, please. Here is the deepest secret that nobody knows. And here is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. Whatever you'd rather not face is precisely what you must face. Because once you do, once you get to the very core, you will find there waiting for you what you've been looking for this whole time. Alicia, amongst the seeds of the lemon is a playing card, correct? For the first time, in a loud, clear voice, to remind everyone, what card did you choose?
2 of hearts.
The 2 of hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Alicia a nice big I hope to see you folks next time. My name is Jonas. Don't forget to go to jonascain.com/Easterseals within the next day or so and pick up your resources. Thank you so much.